We've been talking about differences, and I like how Coach James kind of brought it back to the coaching perspective and brought up this is a time when we need to pay attention to this difference. I want to ask you guys about another difference that you all have experienced as coaches. How does your strategy change? How does your approach change when you're coaching a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old versus a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old? Like, how does that same game get taught differently, practiced differently, and played differently from a very young child to a high school age child?
Young kids, it's about teaching. You know, when you're coaching, you're teaching a whole lot because you got to think you're 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. You being their coach, you're also introducing them to the game and how to play it correctly. So you kind of like setting the stage for them to play. You know, they look at you as a figure to listen to, and they look at you like, you know, it's like them learning how to crawl. It's like them learning how to walk, but they're doing it through basketball. Kind of your teenagers, they got more development, you know, so it's kind of like you are definitely still teaching, but at the same time, you're teaching around how much more developed they are, and you're adding things to it. So that's, from my perspective, that's the difference.
I mean, I would say that, I mean, I don't know. Let me think about that. George can give his perspective.
I got you, Coach. No problem. But I think it's just you just got to look at what you'll allow, you know, because as the kid gets older and as they're playing on a certain age or certain level, you know what I mean? I mean, you got to understand, like Coach said, as we're teaching, there's right and then there's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So at every level, you're always explaining to them, rather if it's 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9, and no matter what level it is, you're always explaining them what they did right, what they did wrong, because that's just gonna happen at every level. Somebody's gonna do something right, and somebody gonna do something wrong. Certain levels, like I said, 5 and 6-year-olds, you might not have a bunch of plays, so they're gonna be their downfall. But when you get to middle school, high school, you got to know this play, and if you don't know it, that's unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things that I think you allow at the 5 and 6-year-old, 7 and 8-year-old age, where they're just really learning how to dribble when somebody's in front of them. Yeah, they're gonna pick it up. So you're gonna see a double dribble every night, but you teaching them that's not allowed. But right. you got to let them know, you know what I mean? But you know that that's going to happen throughout the course of a game. You got to know that, you know what I mean, they're going to miss. I mean, missing layups, man, I still got high school kids that miss layups. So that's just, that's just something you as a coach determine how much you want to drive yourself crazy about over that. You know what I mean? But I think it's just, as you're teaching you developing, you just get them to know certain, because as you get older, certain stuff just can't happen. Especially if you're trying to be for one on the team. If you're trying to make the team, this is what it's not for the most part about what you're able to do, because a lot of you can kind of do some of the same things. But if you are a player who's constantly doing something that's going to be detrimental to the team, then that's going to hurt you from making the team. If you make the team, that's going to hurt you from getting a lot of playing time. If you're getting playing time, that's going to hurt you from getting the ball in certain situations. So you just got to know when you get to certain levels as a coach what to explain, that you either got to know this or you can't. And this is what I'll bounce back with that, even with, you know, athleticism, as we spoke about earlier. I mean, I have high school kids that I've coached who can't remember a play if I wrote it on their hand before they went into the game. But because you can jump, because you can run, nobody knows that you didn't know the play. Nobody knows that you went the wrong way because you seen the ball and you just jumped, got it, and it went in. You just happened to be fast enough to beat the person because you quick. And only people that knows our team is like, what were you doing? You know what I'm saying? But with athleticism, it covered it. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, and even as a coach, you got to know that as your player. So, I'm not going to trip on you for not knowing the play because I know you got the athleticism to fix it. So you got to give me one or the other. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what you look at when you're teaching. But you keep that. I think you keep your same energy. I think you keep coaching with intensity. I think you keep letting the players know that, you know what I mean, you're playing to win because and this is what I learned from coaching 5 and 6 year olds and 7-year-olds. They all know that there's a winner and a loser. They will run to you after, did we win? Did we win? Nobody probably scored a basket, but the one thing they want to know, coach, did we win? You know what I mean? So you want them, I think you still have to teach. I think you still have to show them that there's a purpose in the game. There's a reason why we're competing. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why you're running up and down. There's a reason why I'm screaming for you to go after the ball. There's a reason why I'm not just, this hour while we playing is not just because there's a reason. So I think and even at the younger age, you know what I mean? They see that, and that gets them to want to keep playing hard because they're not going to learn how to dribble right now. I'm only 7, coach. Give me like 5, 6 more years of practice. You know what I mean? So, but dang, you giving me the energy that I need to, you know what, I'm going to go practice. So next time I can show coach, now I don't pick it up like I used to. You know what I'm saying? Now I can dribble. So, and they'll just keep growing. They'll keep learning. So it's just about, understanding what to let them know that they can and can't do and what you're willing to deal with as you grow. And then I think you got to look at some of your players because I got some 10-year-olds who know better. You know what I'm saying? Who can play and like they know that, you know what I mean? Y'all know better than that. You know what I mean? Even at 10, you know that you can do that. But that just comes with seeing and being around different types of players and coaching different types of athletes. You know what I mean? It's just part of the game.
I feel like I hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I can say from where I've sat watching and observing many different age children being coached is one thing that, from my perspective, I see to be the same is the importance of the relationship building. And, earlier somebody was mentioning trust. And I think that comes into account when you're talking about age at all ages, and you've got all different kids of all different types of personalities. But when you can establish that trust and that relationship with the player, from what I've seen, that's when you make them most open for learning.
Totally agree.
I definitely agree with you on that.
So, another thing I wanted to talk about that relates a bit to this conversation about differences, but also to take advantage of the coaches that we have and pick your brains a little bit, and strategies and how approaches change. So we've talked about females and male players. We've talked about young players and older players. And we've kind of touched on the different arenas that basketball is played in, right? So we've got the school level and we've got rec and we've got AAU. So I want to know, how does the coaching approach change in those situations? And then to piggyback off that, what do you do with that in a situation like where you're building an organization, and how do those challenges come into your mentality when you're working on growing and building an organization?
Well, I kind of start that off, I think. I think that it goes hand in hand. I think the number one thing is being, what's the right word for that? Be a person about your word. Like, have some type of like something about you. Like if you say you're gonna do something, do it. Have some type of code conduct that you adhere to. even my own son, he'll be like, well, Dad, why are we doing this when we ain't got to do that? And I'll sit there and look at him like, how that look? I just skip a rule just to do it. You're like, so how do you hold someone else to that? You know what I mean? As far as building an organization, I think definitely having a vision and having a honest, a way about being with it, you'll be successful. Period. You appeal to your clientele. Period. The people who want to see you. The people who don't want to see you, the answer. That's fine out of the way. So as far as building an organization, I just think you do it with your love of what you're trying to contribute. I know for as far as myself, I just want to give an opportunity to that person who may not, that coach might have just looked at him and was like, I ain't got energy for that. And it's like, dang, I've seen so many kids just being a bystander, parent just watching practices, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, or flag football, or just sitting there watching a wrestling event, being a bystander. And I was just seeing coaches talk to kids a certain kind of way and just do certain things. And I see how it affected the kid. You live in a neighborhood, you live in a community, you see a kid grow, and you can actually literally just see certain things that take place. So an organization building it is it's got to be something that you're doing it for the right reason, and it's going to be fine regardless. How you do that and also coach and have a player or a team and grow that, same thing. You do it, you nurse it like a baby. You put some TLC in it. You treat your worst player like you treat, not the worst meaning skill, but worst player as far as maybe this player just ain't got the attitude that's what needs to be for this. You treat that player like is necessary to be treated. It's not about giving up, but you be a responsible adult about it and you do what's necessary. You put the work in. You might have a player that you might have to pull to the side and just talk to every single practice. You might have to do that. You can't just say, I ain't got time for that. So what are you here to do? What are you doing? Why are you even here? Like, what's the point? You're here for the wrong reasons. If it ain't for that individual player and to grow it with whatever you're trying to grow, then it gotta go hand in hand.
Yeah. When it comes to different levels of coaching with rec, it's like I'm more like a leader, a community leader, because I switched my coaching style up for rec than I do when I would for AAU. For rec, it's kind of like you're getting kids from all over the area that, their parents either need them to get some guidance, some leadership, some help, so I'm coaching them to believe in themselves, or coaching them to, work hard, or coaching them that, being lazy doesn't help you win in life. You got to go get it. So when I'm coaching rec, I look at like helping a athlete or a person grow as a human being. When we're talking AAU, we're coaching our kids to compete. We're coaching them to play at the top level in their age group, in their class. So the coaching style for that is more of, you got to level up. It's eyes on you when you playing AAU. So when you build an organization like that with AAU and stuff like that, man, you want to make sure you bring in athletes that's ready to play at the highest level. I mean, all us as coaches agree. We doing something like AAU. You when you commit to AAU, especially for me playing AAU, that means that you really are taking your craft serious. Y'all know what I mean? Like, you really want to play with the best athletes in the country and nowadays in the world. So you have to change your style of coaching to, mistakes have to be less. And, you got to make sure that continuity with the team is good. You got to make sure all your players are doing what they're supposed to do. So it's just different when it comes to stuff like that. And you want an organization of people who, are serious about doing what they do. You know, that's just from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, both of y'all, I know what y'all talking about first off. You know what I mean? With
Yeah.
just listening to what y'all saying, man, you know, I can definitely tell that y'all been a part of it. But yeah, like Coach said, it's there's definitely a difference between rec and AAU. And you know, when you're dealing with rec, you know, rec is a community thing. You know what I mean? Rec is about coming out every Saturday, you know, giving yourself something to do at least once a week on a Saturday for 2 months, one, maybe two practices out of the week to get out the house, keep your kid active, keep your child involved socially, make friends, you know, develop, you know what I mean? And then within that, you might come into a coach who is serious about the game. Because even in rec with your coaches, you know what I mean, everybody that's coaching rec is not studying to be a basketball coach. You know what I'm saying? These are your people of the community who's donating their time, you know, who's giving their time to be there. You know what I mean? That's what that, and that's one of the most important things when you think of rec, man. You need to have committed people who want to be a part of it. That's not worrying about, you know, winning. That's not worrying about beating the kids and scoring a whole bunch of points. It's really about making sure, all right, if my game is at 10 o'clock, I make sure I'm there at 9:30. And this coach is there, and you don't have to worry about if the coach is going to show up. And someone who, when you got practice twice a week, they're in there utilizing that time that they got because they've signed up to coach this rec team for these 2 to 3 months that I'm going to commit to. It's just a community thing, you know what I mean? And that's why it comes every annual. It's a certain time every year where you're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Now, before that time, after that time, that's your choice. And I think that's where, you know, once you get done, you know, developing, you know what I mean? So some people, that's why rec can start at 5, 6 years old if you want to play, 7, 8 years old. And you take that 2-month lead to develop. You take that 2-month lead to get better. You take that time to learn basketball. You take that time to learn, all right, what a practice is. You take that time to learn what it is to be a part of a team. You take that time to learn the basic dribbling and stuff like that. And if you just so happen to be on a team that has a bunch of kids that can play, you'll also understand what it's like to win. You'll start seeing what winning feels like. And then if you're on a team that's not good, you'll see what losing feels like. And most people don't like that. So now you got a choice. I'm either going to want to get better myself and get on a winning team, or as a child, I just want to play because I'm tripping over the winning. I just want to, you know, say I just want to come hoop. So when rec over, I'm good, mom and dad, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or when rec over, my kid, we go to do something else. We good on rec basketball. I mean, all we do is rec basketball. We good. So you know what I mean? That's what your rec is for. And you take that time and you do that. Now from that, you might got 2, 3, 4 kids who like I don't play another sport, or I play another sport, but I also want to keep doing this. So I know we had practice Monday and Wednesday, but on Tuesday and Thursday, I go outside for an hour. I do 30 minutes of dribbling. Then I, you know, because I want to get better. So now out of a 10-team rec team, you got 2 or 3 kids who are serious. Now rec is over, but we want to keep playing ball. And I've developed enough in rec where I think, you know what I mean, I can keep playing. You know what I mean? And I'm serious. And I want to get around other people who are serious. I want to get around, and as my parents, they want to be around other parents who are committed, who are invested in their child playing ball with other kids. Like the rec was fun, but you know, this one little kid over there, I mean, they parents not serious. That's cool. We have fun. We enjoy it, but we want to keep going. I want her to get better. I want him to get better. So, I mean, your son was on that team that I seen that was winning. What do y'all do after rec season? This is how that stuff starts to come, or whatever the case may be. And then you're doing your research, and that's when you decide if you want to go to the AAU or the competitive side. Now you have to take what you developed, you have to take what you've learned, and because now you're not the only person on the team who can dribble. You're not the only person on the team who can shoot. It's 6, 7 people on the team now. So now if your shot not falling, it's okay. You don't have to take all the shots, because I got somebody else who can shoot.
Mhm.
If you can't get past somebody because they keep stealing the ball from you, it's all right. We don't have to live, because in the rec season, you was the only person that could do it because it was just rec. And now you linked up with a team. It's okay. I'm gonna get the ball to somebody else. And if I got enough people, guess what? You ought to be sitting right next to me until you keep. So guess what? When rec come back around, go back on rec and keep getting better. That's really just. I mean, that's really how it goes. And then you have that part. But then you also have some kids who all right, I might not be the best, but I love what it's about. I love traveling. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? My parents love being because also AAU brings you an experience. You know what I'm saying? You can't as the kid is developing, as the kid is getting better, and as you're working on the game, this AAU thing comes with experience. You create experiences that you'll never forget. You know what I mean? Even if you're part of a team that's not winning, but if y'all go to Richmond and y'all compete, we're gonna remember that. And if you really about it, next time we're gonna go back and we're gonna win. And then you know what I'm saying? So AAU also creates experiences that you're not gonna get out of rec. It creates atmospheres that you're not gonna see from rec. You know what I mean? You're gonna see children at whatever age or level that you're participating in play their game, and you're gonna be like, whoa, that rec season, I ain't seen no kids do nothing like that. And then on top of that, you start seeing kids who now this when you start seeing kids who's 5'10" and they on the 5th grade. Oh, like you like, whoa, this is it's real. Yeah, this child is 11 years old and she's about to be 6 foot. They serious. Her and her parents, look at them. You can see how they walk. Oh, they serious about basketball. And the kid enjoys the game. The kid loves playing. Or you see a kid just going in, you know, so you get a chance to see that. You gain that AAU experience. That's what AAU is gonna bring to you. I mean, and you gotta be invested because it's not cheap. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be willing, to put up with it. You know what I mean? You gotta be willing to say, all right, and that's what I'm saying, like certain parents, if you want to see your child play, and you got it when practice is Monday and Wednesday, what y'all doing Tuesday and Thursday? You know what I'm saying? Because unless you just want to travel and, you know what I mean? So it's different perspectives for each parent on their take on AAU, because it's not just wake up an hour before the game and go. You know what I mean? You got to plan. It's a lot that comes with it, you know, and then, you know, like I said, you create those experiences. And as you start to do that, and from our perspective, as far as what programs go, I mean, it's got to be from the heart. You know what I mean? You gotta want to, you know what I mean? You gotta want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta wanna, you know what I mean? You gotta, when you go to start to put a program together, if you really want to put an organization together, if you really want to do that, you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta know your vision, why you want to do it. I think it takes time. You really want to take the time and sit down. Is this something you just want to do in 10 minutes? You know what I mean? And y'all go for one summer, or are you really trying to bring something that can, you know what I'm saying, be beneficial to whatever area you're in, or whichever area you're bringing it to? So you want to make sure that it starts with you being in your heart, and you got to really be willing to do certain stuff that, you know what I mean, is going to take your program to another level when you're thinking about why you're doing it. And that's something that I think that's important, because when you do that, if you build it the right way as far as your vision goes, then for sure they'll come. The people are gonna come. You know what I mean? You're gonna get as far as participation, as far as people that's coming to be a part of it. They'll come because you got something that's gonna last. You know what I mean, you talk about dealing with youth. You know what I mean? If you like, and this is something that I offer to the people that come to my program, whatever age you bring your child to, if your child comes to me at 8, 9, 10, I mean, you got a chance to grow for 5 years. And I mean, I don't plan on going anywhere. I plan on being around. So if your child is interested in basketball, this is an opportunity for you to grow. longevity. And I think that's important when you're thinking about dealing with the kids, because there are a bunch of programs now. You know what I'm saying? There are a bunch of programs who are around, so you can go. I mean, you can go anywhere and find what you need. You know what I mean? So, but when you're trying to sustain and just have a program for yourself, you want to think about something that's going to last, something that's going to be worth it, because it takes commitment from yourself, from the parents, from the players, and then you gotta have people on your team, as far as your staff, your coaches, other committed adults. You know what I mean? Who you know what I'm saying? Who's going to be down to, you know, to 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 commit and give their time, because especially in our situation, like this is volunteer time. You know what I mean? We volunteering our time, and a lot of coaches got kids. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't have any children myself, but you donating a lot of your time to someone else's child. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And then for
absolutely.
those that got children, you try to incorporate your child in also as much, but it's important. So you want to make sure that you got people who are willing to be committed to building something. And then if you do have a child that's involved, when your child ages out, so to speak, like, is that it? You know what I mean? So you just gotta, when you're building that program, man, you just gotta look to grow it, and you gotta look to have something that you know is gonna last. Because the athlete to come, I mean, you can't just worry about winning. You know what I mean? You can't just worry about trying to be the best, because that's the easiest way to fall off.
Yeah.
But when you're building something right, then the good athletes will come and the good athletes will stay. The committed people will stay, and they're kids, man. You gotta give them a chance to get better. You know what I mean? So I think that's just, what I'm saying, my take as far as, when you're trying to build that organization, you know what I mean? You want something that, lasts, you know what I mean? So you can see your kid go from 5th grade to graduate in high school, and he played in your program or something like that. So it's just, you got to think about that when you go to building a program, because it's important, because kids are looking for somewhere that they can really, grow it and call home. Parents too. I believe parents are looking for something they can find and keep their kid a part of. You know what I mean? It's a lot now, but it's a lot that's, it's hard to divide. So when you get some people that's with you, you know, yeah, you just want to make your program worth it. It's just got to be worth it.
Yeah,
Definitely agree with
That's my take on that, Coach. I know I said a lot, but
100%.
that's definitely an important topic to me for sure.
No, you had a lot of good points, man.
it's definitely needed. I definitely agree with that. The sentiment is definitely probably shared across the board.
Yep.
It's a passion thing. I think that a lot of coaches, of course, be competitive in the game because that's the coach hat, and you wear different hats. But at the same time, it got to come from a place of passion. And like you said, you got to put that work in, and it'll build, and the people will come, and you really can't thank for that. I know personally, I know every coach in front of me ain't worried about that. I know that for a fact. We're about putting that work in, developing, using our skills to the best of our ability to benefit others. That's really what it is, and it shows.
Yeah.
It just shows, and when you're not passionate, it shows, and that's the part where I think some coaches kind of laugh, only because it's funny sometimes. When you're not passionate and it shows, it's like, what do you expect? At the end of the day.
You can see it. I mean, players are reflections of their coaches too. So you can see it. You can see it in a team. You know what I'm saying? So you get, I mean, it's a lot of coaches, especially in this area. You know what I mean? So we get a chance to see a little bit of it all. But man, we got some good coaches out here, though, man. There's some really good coaches, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of them got their heart in the right place. A lot of them do. You know what I mean? Sometimes a lot of us are just, we get put in situations where it sucks. You know what I mean? And the right-hearted coaches, you know what I mean, get treated the wrong way. You know what I mean? And then some of them, you know what I mean, it burns them, it hurts them, and so. But there's a lot of good coaches out here, though, man.
So we have some questions that have come in through our Titan social media for you guys. And I wanted to go through a few of those. Our first one is from Jaden R. Dear Titans, what's left for the player who has a passion for the sport but can't seem to succeed?
For any sport, I always tell my kids ball is life. There's so many principles and so many things that you're doing when you're preparing and trying to be great at a sport that you don't have to necessarily make a team, be on a team. It's preparing you for life. In life, you can't do anything unless you work hard and prepare for it, And I think sports gives our kids that line of perspective. I always preach to kids, hey, ball is life, because it is. Like, you can't be a great basketball player if you don't put the time in, if you're not showing up to practice on time, you don't show up to your job on time. What you're either gonna get rolled up or you're gonna get fired. All right, if you don't go to your job and work hard, you put a lackluster effort in, you get fired. So it's a lot of things even if you're not succeeded in the sport, there's still value in what you're doing. And I think that we really have to, talk to our kids and let them know, like, hey, you may not make a team, but just like how hard you're trying out or working out to make this team, apply that to all your life skills and see what happens for you. You may not be the next LeBron or Michael Jordan, but you may be the next CEO of a company, So you got to take those things that you're doing in this sport and apply it to your life and watch what happens.
And that's real right there, Coach. Ball is definitely life. I mean, one thing I would say to the kid, I would just ask him what's his goals. You know what I mean? He says he's not having success, but what is he trying to do? You know what I mean? What is he trying to reach? Find a way to create his own success. He's got to, look at what he's trying to do and go from there. I mean, he's made a statement that's saying he's not having success, but he probably has had plenty of success. You know what I mean? It's probably somebody looking at him wishing they was in his situation,
right?
Wishing they could. So he just got to look at his goals. If he got to set his goals and look at what he's trying to do, and that's the best way to decide if he's being successful or not, and he got to calculate that and move accordingly. You know what I mean? But to say that he's not having any success, I don't know if that's you got to figure out what is he trying to get out of. You know what I mean? I mean, depending on if this kid is middle school, high school, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever he's trying to do, he's got to approach that accordingly. And then he just got to be willing to put in the work from wherever he is. If he's a high school kid, you got 4 years max. You know what I'm saying? So look at where you at and look at how much work you're willing to put in. If you know there's somebody's spot that you're trying to take, and he's saying he gets up at 10 o'clock to go work out, are you willing to get up at 9? Let's just keep it like that. You know what I'm saying? How much work are you willing to put in to get better if you're behind? So you just got to look at those goals and create that success of his own.
I think that as the coach, if I'm assuming he has a coach or she has a coach, it just feels like that coach doing his job as the coach. I mean, and that's a part that I mean, we put a lot on the player, a lot on the student, and that's what we should do. All right. Now, as the coach, there's a lot of things that we should do and can do. Sometimes we got to meet more criteria, and just to speak not on that particular example, it's just like most players should play a different sport anyway. I know that most players play basketball. Okay, cool. They should still play baseball or football. And that should have just been a mindset regardless of, okay, I'm not doing good. This may not be for me. I should just quit. That's like going to work and saying, man, I come to work, I get paid the same hourly, I can't get the promotion, I should just quit my job. It's like, nah, while you at work, you should also be doing this also, on top of that, so that at one point you can make a new decision and do something different, you know. So I think that I would encourage that particular person to do something else and just make themselves do something else on top of that, and because they're going to do it anyway, or
Mhm. Our next question is from Nick O. Dear Titans, what can I do to get recognized at tryouts at a new school or for a new team?
Yeah. My thing is, the best thing you can do at tryouts is show what you're made of. That's the only thing you can really do at a tryout. Every tryout I've ever been to, the biggest anxiety you get from tryouts is the unknown, because you don't know what the coach is looking for. So the only thing you can do is do your best at what the coach is telling you to do. The biggest thing for coaches is you doing something they didn't tell you to do. They say, hey, give me a right hand layup. I don't need don't give me jelly. I don't need the jelly. I just need a right hand layup. You know, so just do it to the best of your ability. I mean, tryouts is a tough thing, man. It's you work hard and you hope that your hard work pays off, you know. But you don't know what the coach is thinking. So just go out there and do the best you can and do what you're told to do. That's the biggest thing. When I went to tryouts, and for me it's different. When I was going to tryouts as a kid, I kind of pretty much knew I was making the team. You know, I knew it. But for other kids who I talked to during the tryouts, they were more nervous because it was like they would ask like, what did you think of that layup I just did? What did you think of that jump shot? What did you just play and do the best you can. Like stop think. If you think too much, then it's, you know, you're overthinking it. Just go out there and just, you know, do the best you can. And at the end of the day, live with the results. But I think what a lot of kids don't do, they walk away and they're sad when they, you know, they go to a trial, they don't make the team. What you should do is go to the coach and say, why didn't I make the team? What do I need to work on? Because automatically that puts his eyes on you, because you came to him and said, hey, coach, you know, thank you for giving me the opportunity to try out. What do I need to do to get better? That's, I mean, and the coach is going to let you know. Now you put a buzz in the coach's ear and he's told you some things you need to work on. So the next time you try out, he sees you worked on those things he told you, you know? So just go out there and just give it your all. Leave everything on the line, put it all out there. And whatever the results are, live with it. But first and foremost, work before you get to tryouts and you have nothing to worry about. I mean, we can't control what these coaches are thinking at certain places, but at the end of the day, if you dedicated your time and your effort to your craft, it's going to pay off. So keep doing what you're doing.
I'd
Hit
say
it on the nose, right?
hard
You
work.
hit it on the nose with that last phrase.
What'd you say, George?
The coach hit it on the nose with the last phrase. You ended it with the right word. If you prepare before tryouts, you'll be ready for tryouts.
Yeah.
The last thing he want to do is make the day or the week of tryouts be the time he's starting to prepare for tryouts. That's the last thing you want to do. I mean, it's calculated, man. It goes back to the first thing. What's your goal? I mean, you know, you're going to a new school. Is your goal to make the team? Right now, you need to be figuring out what happened last year, who was on the team last year, who was the coach last year, who they lost coming up. You got to prepare for this, man, because basketball is not football. It's not 52 people. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be 52 people coming to tryouts, but only 12 of y'all are going to make the team.
Yep.
This is you got to think, if you're serious, and you got to think from a coach's point of view, who's trying to prepare for a season. You know what I mean? You got to think. You know what I mean? And I got to have a tryout where I know there's going to be a bunch of. If this is my first time ever talking to you, how serious have you been about playing on my team?
Yeah,
That's huge.
This is the first. I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, that's huge.
And you just came out of nowhere, and this is the first time. Do you know who I am? Do you even know me? Do you go to this school? If I work at the school, have you ever even came and talked to me? Do you know anybody that played for me last year? Like, what do you know about my team? Do you know what we do? You know, we press. You're a guard. Can you pick up somebody full court? You know what I'm saying? So you got to prepare for tryouts before tryouts. And you come into a new school And the way that it is nowadays with these kids on Instagram, you know people, you know somebody at that school. I mean, you gotta really prepare. Unless you feel like you're that nice, nobody needs to know you. You can just come somewhere and jump on the team. And trust me, the way that this stuff goes, if you was that nice, everybody they know who you are.
We know you.
Everybody
You know what I'm saying? They'll know who you are. So when you're talking about tryouts, and that's what I'm saying as a player, how serious is this for you? You know what I mean? How long you been knowing you was coming to this school? You know what I mean? Like you like where'd you come from? Did you play there? Like these are things that you have to take into consideration as you're preparing to try to put yourself in a new situation. And then you got to think about your role and position that you play. Are you a big man? Do I have a big man?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If I don't, okay. Now you got to put your money where your mouth is because you coming to me talking like you what I need. You know what I'm saying? Now you what I need. So are you going to come in here and stink it up and I got to go look for somebody else? Or can I put your name on the list? So really, you know what I mean? Tryouts, you have to prepare ahead. You know what I mean? This kid should be doing especially now during this quarantine time. Yeah. This kid should be doing everything he needs to do. He should know the date of tryouts. He should know the dates of the first workouts. Even if school don't start on time, he should be in the loop. You need to know. He needs to know who he needs. He needs to get in the loop. Who played last year? Hit him up on Instagram. Yo, I'll be at your school next year. Let me know when. What y'all doing? Y'all working out? You need to be in the loop. This is how you get known. This is how you put yourself in the loop. And then if you got game, you know what I'm saying, then your game will do the rest for you. Now your game's going to talk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can do all that. And if you can't play, then you know what I'm saying, there might be a manager spot. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta prepare. I mean, but you got to prepare. You didn't got cool with me. I'm cool with you. Look, I ain't got no jersey for you, but look. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But you just never know because I had a situation when my first year coaching at Cox. We cut a kid his freshman year, and he took that approach. You know what I'm saying? He said, Coach, is there anything I can do to just help out? You know what I mean? He did the table for us. He helped with our books. He practiced every day. Never played, though. Next year, sophomore, he's a starter for JV. And the next 2 years, he starts varsity. He was on the team when we went to the state championship. So it's your approach.
The approach.
It's your approach. And then, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like I said, he's going to a new school, or I don't know if he's already at the new school. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's already been down this path before. I don't know if he's already been cut. I don't know what his situation is as far as that part goes. But then how you respond is also going to be big. I mean, if you've already been cut, I mean, do you feel, are you willing to put in the work to make coach be like, Coach, I can't believe you cut me? Or is this the year where you say, all right, now such and such has graduated, or such and such has don't go here no more. Now it's my turn to really step up. So you got to look at how you want to approach it. But as far as tryouts go, you need to start preparing now. And he can't. First, coach should know who he is by the time tryouts show up. And all you got to do is show up. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's you know what I mean? It's different now. You know what I mean? It's just different. Like, and then, like I said, basketball is the type of sport where if you can play, you know what I'm saying, guys know who you are. You know what I mean? Even the guys that ain't the best players, people know who they are if you can play. Right. So tell that kid he's got to start now, man. He's got to do his homework. He's got to learn that school. He's got to learn that coach. You better get on Instagram. I'm pretty sure you're on Instagram.
Every day.
You're right. I mean, everything you said is facts. I mean, and you drop some gems. I'm gonna be honest with you, because players. I ain't gonna say people. I'll be specific. Players that want to try out for teams that want to go out need to hear that, because they're not being told that, and when they are told that, it's after they're cut or after the fact. They're told that when they're in the upset situation, when they're like, man, I don't want to play for blah blah blah, because then. No, somebody should have sat there and told you, how come you ain't prepared? How come you ain't do your due diligence? How come you're not doing that? How come? And then you wait for the answer. And you need to, and that's really what these players need. So many don't want to do that to them. And they don't want to listen.
A lot of these players got to realize, like, a coach is always looking for the next best thing. You know what
Always.
I'm saying? I would love for a kid to walk in my gym and just, I'm ready now. What?
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? Every coach is looking for a kid that's ready to go. You know what I mean?
imagine that.
Even my best player, I wish would put in more work. You know what I'm saying?
You said the key
So
word.
you
though,
always
Coach.
want your kids to get better. You feel what I'm
You said
saying? So it's like if you it's you could if you just got to be willing to put in that work.
you said the coach. You said the key word approach. That's like the biggest. That's the biggest thing you can do when it comes to a tryout. Is like you said, your approach to the game. Like you're prepared. You're prepared. You listening. You paying attention to detail, and it's not a fact of tryouts shouldn't make you nervous. It shouldn't make you nervous. Of course, we get those.
Coach. I'll give you a scenario that makes sense. Let's say this is a high school kid we're talking about, and all right, for I just use myself as an example. I coach, you know what I'm saying, Green Run Varsity Girls, and let's say, you know, I got a player who's going into their junior or senior year who's been playing for me since the freshman or sophomore, and this is one of my now. This don't even got to be one of my better players, but this is just a player that's been playing for me. You know what I mean? 3 years. And hey, coach, guess what, man? Guess who coming to our school, coach? Such and such. They can play. You know what I mean? Next time we have a gym, you know what I'm saying? I've been chopping it up with them. Or next time we work out, coach. You know what I mean? They hit me up, told me that they coming to the school. Or even, hey, coach, I don't really, you know what I'm saying, know who I heard about them, but supposed to be coming to our school, coach. You might got something. So you got you there's ways to get in that loop. You gotta learn. You got if this is what you really want to see. A lot of kids just want to take the picture. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be on Instagram. Like, hey, I hoop. You know what I'm saying? I play for the school. That's all they want. You know what I mean? But I mean, what's your approach? You can get that. I mean, that's what you want. If that's what you want, then I mean, you can get that. You know.
Yeah,
But it's just got to be your approach to it.
Do you want to take pictures on Instagram, or if you just taking pictures, or you want to take pictures of yourself in the game? You know, like this it's a difference. And I think
you want to take pictures of yourself, or you want to have somebody else taking pictures of you?
Somebody else taking pictures while you playing. But it's crazy because like I was saying, like tryouts, like you said, if you're prepared, there's really nothing to be nervous about. It's the execution now. Now let's execute. You know what I'm saying? I prepared for a whole summer for this moment. You know what I'm saying? And those moments are all about your preparation, man. You're prepared for the person that just sent that, man. If you're prepared, man, tryouts is gonna be what it's gonna be. Just give it 110%, and just the results.
Be what's going
Put it all on the table. There's nothing that you can be mad about.
It definitely depends on the level that you're trying out for too. Middle school, high school, because it's like I said. Now you're talking school. If you're trying to make your school team, you got to think how many kids are at school, and you're trying to be the top 12 play varsity. It's 500 some kids in school. If depending on what school you go to, you know what I'm saying, it can be 100 kids that can play that probably getting cut and can go to another school and start.
Ooh, big.
You know what I mean? So you gotta think like, you know, what level you on. Certain stuff, you know, if you're in the 10th grade and you claim to be a guard and you're still having trouble dribbling up the court, that's not gonna help you make the team. When that's what the guard does. If you're still struggling making fast break layups at this level, I can't spend my 2-hour practice teaching you how to make a layup. You've been working on that since rec in the AAU you played when you was a child, and you still ain't got it. Maybe you're not ready for high school ball yet, or just
not ready.
So you just gotta approach the game ready. You know what I mean? You got to, and for the most, and here's a scoop for players. You know what I mean? By the time tryouts, for the most part, if you condition, if you can run, if you can, you know what I'm saying, if you can get up and down the court, you'll be straight. Most of y'all can't get through a suicide. That's what's getting you cut off the list first. You can't beat the suicide. How you gonna make the team can't get up and down the court?
Yeah. Conditioning. Me and Sam always talk about conditioning, like because you gotta be able to play 4 quarters. And as a coach, if you gassed in the last 3 minutes, unless you're playing super hard and you having a great game, I need you to get in a little bit more shape, man. I need you to prepare for 5 quarters instead of 4. I need you to get in shape, man. I need you to and like you said, if you're not in shape, don't even expect to make the team.
It's gonna be so much hard. It's gonna be so much.
Don't even expect to make the team.
Because when you're out of shape, especially like I said, tryout, you got to think most tryouts are 2 days, some 3 days. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean by you have to come in ready, because in most situations, after the roster is complete, you might, they say, depending on what level you are, depending on the way the schedule fall, you might get 2 weeks of a team practice before you have to play your first game.
Yeah.
You know how much you have to teach. So I don't have time to be going. At this point, there's things that you should be able to do. This is where you have to come to the table. Coach, I can already do this, coach. If I can come to the table and say, coach, no, I don't get plucked. Nobody steals the ball from me. Coach, I can bring the ball up the court. And I don't have to teach that. Check. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm watching you and every time somebody gets on you, you lose the ball, you pick it up, and you're my guard, that ain't helping. You know what I mean? Because now most coaches already have a system or have a scheme in place. And now it's just finding the pieces that can do it.
Yeah.
So if I know I got a guard who is strong with the ball, man, my offense is going to be phenomenal. But if I don't got a guard to get the ball up the court, now what do I do? You know what I'm saying? Now I got to go into my coaching bag.
Yeah.
Because and one thing I've learned about basketball from being a coach, I mean, I've never coached football, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love watching the game and just studying as far as how they do their thing. But, basketball is one sport where the players can really dictate what's going on. Like, no matter how good a coach is, I mean, if you don't got the players, if they not doing what they're supposed to do, it don't work. You can have the perfect plan, you can run the perfect play, but if you don't got a player that can knock down that shot, if you don't have a kid that can make that pass, if you don't have a kid that can slide their feet, ain't gonna work, coach. Ain't gonna work. And you can try to switch it up, but the players gotta play. And that's why some coaches, when you see certain coaches, if they got the players, just go let your kids play. You know what I mean? You just got to control the situation. But other than that, if you just let them go play, they're going to just play. You can just coach.
So going off what you said, Coach, I always tell kids all the time at the park and stuff, I said, the 12th man is all about effort. So if you're going to get that 12th spot, you have to give effort, outstanding effort to make that 12th spot. So if you come to tryouts and you ain't giving effort, you an easy cut. No, lack of effort is an easy cut.
And there's so many ways to make a team too, outside of just your skill. Just that 12th man thing. Like, you know what I mean? For example, let's say this kid is vocal. Yeah, you might not be the best shooter, you might not be the best defender.
You're a leader.
Yeah, let's say you're the one, you know what I'm saying, that'll speak up when the best shooter is not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
And you're the one that can get them in that groove. Or, you know what I mean, somebody has to be able to be a voice for the team that's not the coach. You know what I mean? And that's not always the best player. You know what I mean? That's not always the kid that's scoring. That's not always the kid that's playing a lot. So you can be on the team and contribute in so many different ways. But as long as you just working on your game, you know what I mean, you can get better. You just gotta be willing. I mean, basketball is that sport, man. You just gotta be willing. It's repetition. You gotta be willing to put in the work really every day. Like you have to work on your form. You have to work on your handle every day. You can tell I can look at a kid and tell, man, I can tell you dribble the ball every day. I can tell you go out there. I can tell.
Our last question comes from a parent. Mary Ann
Okay.
says, "Dear Titans, I want my son to have something to fall back on, but his only interest is basketball and sports. What advice could you give about how he could turn that into a plan B?"
Ball is life. I
Mhm.
mean, we say that term, but we should, as coaches, we all should be from kids from the best player on the team to the 12th man on the team. Look, you can play. It's great that you play sports. It's great that you play basketball. It's great that you put. But at the end of the day, let's all be honest. The NBA is like playing a lottery. There's so many players in the world that play basketball, so it's a lottery dream. But take that same energy and apply that same energy somewhere else. You can always play basketball. I mean, you don't have to just play basketball on team. There's so many rec leagues out here. There's so many look at the field house. Like they got so many different levels of playing. You can stay involved in basketball, but at the same time, life kicks in, and once you're done playing basketball, let's say you blow your ACL out tomorrow, or what's new now in basketball, the biggest new career-ending injury, Achilles. You tear your Achilles, what do you do? Do you continue to, first of all, the rehab on the Achilles is what? It's ridiculous, and it's hard to come back from it. So you have to have a fallback plan in every scenario in life. You can't put your eggs in one basket. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of kids, and we've been talking about social media the whole time we've been doing this podcast right now, but everything looks so instant. It looks like it just looks easy. It looks so easy on camera, but at the same time, nobody knows what's happening behind that lens. Like nobody knows what the person is going through. Nobody sees the work that person is putting in, and nobody sees failure anymore. Like they don't see normal people who strive to do something and they end up turning around and doing something else. Like you can use your sports energy and apply that energy into so many other aspects of life and the world, So to that parent, just keep preaching to your kid to, hey, that's fine. It's good. It keeps you out of trouble. But at the same time, what happens when A doesn't work? What's your B? And what happens if B doesn't work? What's your C? Like, you got to think outside the box. And I think, first of all, that's a good question for this, because even though we're doing this coach thing, because it's sports, this all applies to life. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't apply to sports. It applies to life. All the concepts relate to life. Yeah. So you got to figure out, hey, all this energy I'm putting into basketball, where else can I put it,
I agree with that. I think that sometimes as a coach, it's not that you have to let a kid down or let someone know something negative. It's just about putting that coach. I think coaches get confused with winning and being looked upon as winning to what really were you sent there to do? You're a coach. You sit there to mentor, teach, help, provide whatever you have went through and developed over your years and pass it on. If you're not doing that, then you're failing. And I think that as a coach, if you got a player that's like, he thinks that's everything. And this is my dream. That's what I want to do. And you see him and you're like, man, okay, I got you. I get you. I think it's up to you to figure that out. I think it's up to you to figure out how you talk and communicate to that young player that you're coaching and say however you need to say. I think you also need to be doing this too. I think you also need to be doing this on your off periods and off time. I know you want to come to practice, but I tell you what, before you come to practice next week, go ahead and write me an essay. Show off your writing skills, your punctuation, your grammar. I need that before you can come on this court. And I think as a coach, you force them to do the things that they need to do. And if they don't want to do it, then they push their own self away. And that's not to say, oh, good, I got to deal with it. But it's to say, I have that responsibility. And this is how we're gonna make that come into fruition.
Man, you're right.
Absolutely.
I wish we could know how old this kid was, because I think that definitely plays a big part into you know what I mean, the parent, because for the parent, because this is really, like you said, this is really a question for the parent, because the kid loves basketball, that's all he wants to do, and mom or dad is trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, look, what else are you about? um and really, that's what my whole organization is about. You know what I'm saying? YKS is just all about encouraging kids to come out of their comfort zone and exposing them to different things and different ideas, and letting them know that it's okay to step outside the box and learn different things. And I always stress to the kids in my organization, when we're not at a game, we're not at practice, if we're not hooping, could we just hang out? Like, what type of person are you? Are you respectable? You know, are you the type of person that people can be around, that doesn't involve basketball? You know, so depending on the age of this kid, I just think he has a dream like any other kid. He's loving the sport. He really enjoys what he likes to do. Apparently the parents have been supporting it, because this is all he wants to do. You know, so of course, you know what I'm saying, as a parent, you want to continue to not only encourage him to keep playing ball, but, you know, expose him to some different things. You know what I mean? Figure out what else he's into. I mean, shoot, figure him out a little bit. I mean, try to figure out what some of his other interests. You know what I mean? Okay, we know you like basketball. We know this is what you do. And really find out how serious he is about it. Does he want to go to college for basketball? Is that a goal of his? You know what I mean? You say you love basketball, is what you want to do. Okay. If we do this right, we can make it work. You know what I'm saying? So and then they got to really explain to him, if they want basketball to be a plan B, they got to really explain to him what it's going to take for him to make this his only option, as far as that part goes. But I think they should definitely and take him to different things. Take him to him. You know what I'm saying? Well, of course, it's not stuff you can do right this moment, but expose him to some different things. See what he's like, and I don't know, you know, what else he does out when they're not at basketball, when they're not in a game, you know, but try to figure out some other stuff he likes to do. What are his friends into? What type of type of kids do he hang out with? So that way, you know, everything isn't only basketball. You know what I mean? If she can find different ways to get him involved in other stuff, that don't got nothing to do with sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see if we can get it away from sports for a second. You know what I mean? What if he likes painting? What if he likes building? What if, you know what I'm saying? What if he's into Legos and he want to build? Like, figure out what else he likes to do. You know what I mean? But like I said, again, the age of the player would be a lot too. You know what I mean? Because if we're talking about a kid who's, you know what I mean, in high school, and you know, we got to really start preparing for life after school in 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? Now it's time to really, you know what I'm saying, really drop some different jewels on them. Okay, after graduation, what's next? Is college a plan? You know what I mean? If you're that serious about basketball, is that really an option for us after high school? You know what I mean? How serious do you? I'm saying, so they got to look at that. I think the parents should look at that situation and just continue to, you know what I'm saying, take initiative to, because it seems like she's worried that that's all he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? So
Right on
if,
age. That's a big deal with it.
yeah, so you know, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to expose them to stuff, but I think they should, you know what I'm saying, and even if it's some stuff that he he might not even know that he might like. He'd be like, damn, Mom, if you would have never took me here, or if you would have never, you know what I mean? Where I know I done been plenty of situations where I'm like, if my mom or my dad wouldn't have took me here, I probably would have never went. And if I would have never had this, I wouldn't know I liked it. You know what I mean? So he's a kid. You got to expose them to the stuff. You know what I mean? You got to put the kids in those situations. And then from our point of view as coaches, you know what I mean, definitely encouraging them. Because sometimes parents might want to do stuff and the kid might be like, nah, that's whack, or I don't want to do that. But if us as coaches make them feel like, man, if your mom want to take you to the art museum, bro, you should go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might like that. Like, make us as coaches make them feel like, ain't nothing wrong with liking singing. If you want to sing, fool. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go watch a play, if you want to go see some people acting,
Hit that
do that. Yeah. If you feel like, man, I want to learn how to change a tire, I want to learn how to I just want to learn how to do something. Do it. Right. You want to learn how to do something, do it. It's cool. It's just as cool as coming in here hitting this jump shot. That's just as cool as any. If you like to cook, bro, go cook. I'll come buy a plate from you. You know what I'm saying? If you cook me something to eat, I'll come get it. You know what I mean? Let them know that it's okay to do some of this other stuff, and I think that'll help with that. From our point of view as coaches, but to the mom, man, just keep exposing them to stuff. And depending on his age, I mean, let him love the sport. Let him love it. Ain't nothing wrong with loving it, but just let him know there's more to it. Because like Coach said, basketball don't stop. If you stay in shape, boy, you can hoop till you 60. You can keep hooping, baby. You can keep getting your ball. You can keep balling. You don't gotta stop hooping. They got 60 and up leagues. If you want to go hoop, you can go find you 10, 60 cats that's 60 and up. And it's just us. We just hooping. They do it. They do it all the time. The 35 and ups, the 40s and ups, the 50s and ups. If you want to keep playing, all you gotta do is find 10. Shoot, you want to play half court? You can find 4. You know what I'm saying? So I think he don't ever got to stop playing ball. But if it works for him, I mean, he don't got to go to the NBA to see the world and make a living. I know some guys overseas that's making a great living playing basketball and enjoying their life. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it could work. Let him move.
Well, I will say this. Tonight, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna say thank you guys for coming out first and foremost off top, because I always appreciate when people can give their time, especially for the reasons, and it's genuine to try to help, inform, do the best we can, communicate, have the conversations, grown men talking.
And me.
and it's about that. It's about getting that perspective across, taking that opportunity to do that, and and achieve the goal. So I definitely want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and sharing their perspective.
Definitely, man. I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate it. This is good, especially for times like this, man. I think you're doing something really good, man. And I pray nothing but success for y'all as y'all continue to move forward. Anytime y'all got something going on that can be a part of, please reach out to me. You count me in.
Likewise.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
YKS, an awesome organization that if not to be too long-winded, but in the area we live at, there's a lot of ball. There's a lot of ball, and coaches can see each other all the time. But there's certain organizations, there's certain people that it's got to be beyond the talk. You got to see how they walk, and that's still a lot more than what somebody could come out their mouth, and the way people handle themselves as an organization, as a team, as a group, as a unit, speaks volumes. And people don't always recognize or see that or get to hear that. They go to games. You see us at the games. All right, cool.
But They catching us in a different element.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like at the same time.
Especially that they usually catch us right within that hour. Like, you got to see me an hour before, catch me an hour after.
It's so real. It's so real.
Hey, for real though, Coach, we didn't been at it plenty of times, man, in that field house, enjoying, what I'm saying, for the kids, man, for the youth, and they just see it. They, like I said, they see it in the passion of within us, and it just reflects on them, man. And from my organization to y'all, man, it's just a great group of kids who are growing in this area, and I just think that
absolutely.
I just think they got something to look forward to, man. Like I said, longevity, man. I pray for y'all as well.
Definitely, likewise. And definitely, Coach Corey, definitely appreciate you making it tonight. Your perspective is always valued, trust me. And it's just the truth. I try to be long-winded, but I try to get it out because you don't always know when you're going to have the opportunity to. But, That's me. And I definitely appreciate our lovely Miss Allison out here with us.
Allison.
And we definitely
holding it down for the women. Holding it down for the women on the women's
down for the ladies. Yes, yes.
we do have women perspectives coming through too, which is a part of this. It's a part of life. It's part of the progression right that we're doing. But like I said before, I definitely appreciate everybody. We definitely gonna have to sit down and do this again. We definitely the forum will definitely be different as time goes by. But right now we're doing the best we can.
I think we're doing a great job, man. That's what we do as coaches, man. It's about adjusting. You adjusting, bro. You adjusting.
Justin.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, y'all.
All right, good night, man.
All right, you too, man.